What's up, everybody? This is the Growing Up Italian podcast. A little different today, huh? I'm with my guys, Georgie and Mike.
What's going on?
What's
legendary tattoo artists.
World famous.
World famous.
New York City's own, you know? But
Right.
legends in Ozone Park, Howard Beach area, I would say, no?
Yeah, past
most
25
part.
years. That was shops here, coming up on 25 years. And then it started, Pete and Cubo in the basement. Pete started in 70,
See,
72.
see, that's what I was going to get into. Mike asked me, like, do you have an outline for this? And I was like, actually, I don't. Like, the only thing I wanted to talk about was when you look at, like, tattoo spots in New York, it always says, like, established in 94 or 95.
97.
97.
Oh, 97, okay.
Because that's when
Because
tattooing became legal.
tattoo was illegal for, like, 30 years, right?
Yeah, it was a health code violation,
Let's get a
actually.
little closer.
It was a health code violation, it actually was. But we were doing in the basement. I mean, Pete was tattooing in the basement
Sure.
since 72. Cubo started, I think, 90, 91 in his basement. I was with Cubo in the basement from the beginning. I wasn't tattooing then, but
We were hanging out.
yeah, I was hanging out. It definitely was.
I wasn't
Now-
tattooing.
It's crazy because, like, from when I first got my tattoo, like, I come from an Italian household and everybody was against tattoos. And I was, like, the first one to get it.
Criminals got him.
Exactly. So, like, that's the general, like, idea of tattoos. Like, you know, when you're sleeved up, like, what are you, you're either a criminal or
I remember being a kid and tattoos always fascinated me. And I told my mother, I was like, oh, I want tattoos when I get older. You know, because I see, like, the garbage man with the, like, green tattoos on him. And I just, like, loved it. And she was like, oh, if you ever get it, she goes, I'll cut it
throw you
off with a
out.
wire brush. You know, I was young. I got my first tattoo. I was 14 years old. I moved out of my parents' house when I was 16. And I got caught with about probably 12 tattoos when I was 18.
12?
My apartment was being painted, and I had to go to my mother's house to shower, and she walked in on me coming out of the shower.
Was it
And they
just
were
like
all on my
over
lower
it,
body.
or-
No, they were like my lower body.
So you actually try to hide them, though.
Yeah, she caught me. You know, she also got to see me naked again. You know, and then she threw me out. I was like, I don't even live here. I was
She
like,
throw
what are
you
you
out for the
talking about?
tattoos or seeing you naked?
I could have went either way on that, but yeah, I was like, I don't even live here, and she, you know, threw me out. You know, again, I wasn't living there, but
You know, I
I know.
actually can't start to begin. Like, so many people I know, their parents were so against tattoos. It's like definitely an Italian thing. Like, is she better now? She doesn't care.
well, yeah, because she's dead. I mean, I don't think she's looking down. Yeah.
Afterwards, though.
No,
like,
she always hated it because you know what it was like. I have this like the pedigree on my education is stellar. Like it really is. You know, I 350,000 in my education.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, private schools, military schools,
How long
private
were you on
colleges.
before you mentioned military school?
You know, but
Nima.
you know, this was what I came into. So, you know, my mother retired. She moved to South Carolina. Any pictures she had of me in the house, and I didn't have my hands and my neck done. I did after that, after she passed away. But any pictures she had of me in the house, she would perma-market my arms out. So it was just like floating hands. And if somebody asked her, like, what does your son do for a living? She was just like, oh, he's in business. Never said, like, exact
owns his own
nothing. Yeah.
business.
Just he's in business, you know?
I've been tattooing for a little over 3 years now, and I still hide my new tattoos from my father. He
What's-
knows I'm going to get them, but he still
What's
just gives me
funny
the
when,
look.
when Mike started tattooing, he didn't even have any tattoos. I remember we were talking, and then he's like, "I gotta start getting tattoos because people aren't gonna think I'm good if they don't see any tattoos."
I mean, I had a couple. I had just like one on my back and one on my leg, but every time I would tattoo somebody new, they'd be asking why I don't have any, and I was just tired of having the conversation, so I just started my sleeve from there.
Yeah,
It got so annoying.
I remember when I was getting like heavily tattooed, like a lot of sleeves on young guys like really didn't exist. You know, like if you were an older guy in a tattoo, you had sleeves. There was another kid who came up under Pete, Chris Oster. He had heavy coverage in his 20s. You know, and he was a couple of years older than me, and I like
What year
followed
is
suit
this,
with
like?
him. Probably like 90. This was. You know, when I followed suit with him, and then I just started getting coverage in my early 20s. You know, like, I mean, I remember when I started busting out with forearm tattoos, my friends were like, oh my, like, what are you doing, you know? It's really, a lot of young guys didn't have it. And then when I started blowing out my neck.
What do you think about all these face tattoos now? You think it's crazy?
I mean,
Now it's very common.
I mean, it's just
How often are you guys tattooing on the face?
not too often.
I've done it, but
I've done
I can't
it
tell you the
before,
last time I've
but
done it.
I maybe haven't done one in a year on somebody's
Really?
face. No, not
Like,
in a while.
You know what? The thing is, like, these kids don't understand. Like, yo, you're gonna have to get a real fucking job one day. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't waited till after my mother died to do my hands and my neck, but at that point, like, I knew this was all I'm doing. You know, well, listen to me. I'm a very intelligent guy. I've had many different businesses through the years. I could step in anybody's business and run it. Who's gonna believe me looking at me? You know, coming through the door. Sure, I'm a scary thing coming through the door. Like, you know, like, oh, this guy's got to be the face of my business. You know, it's people don't understand that it is a job killer.
You know, that's the luxury of what we do is that, you know, we can go however the hell we want.
Yeah.
I mean, especially yours, because, you know, it's a tattoo shop. Like, you know, it's expected. I never saw a tattoo artist besides Mike that wasn't fully covered. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, now, I mean, a lot of the guys are getting covered later on in life, but that's a good thing, too, because they're really picking what they want to do. Like, if I could go over and do it all again, I would do, like, a Japanese suit, hands down, top to bottom.
Just everything, right?
Everything. You know? Yeah, I think my first tattoo was a pit bull. I think, to be honest with you, it was on my calf. I mean, it's long covered, but, you know, I mean, I got a fucking puggle now, you know? I have a pit bull tattoo on
The
me.
quality of tattoos definitely changed in the last... What, 30 years?
Well, here's the thing.
20 years?
And I had Richie Montgomery
The
from...
equipment has changed.
Like
in the
that
last
too,
30
but-
years.
Like the big thing
There
when we
was-
were doing this podcast is my cousin was like, how are you going to do a podcast when you're doing a tattoo? The machine's so loud. I'm like, not Mike's machine.
No.
Mike's machine. Look, do you guys hear it? I don't hear it.
I remember years ago, I tattooed with Richie Montgomery for like 10 years. He's an old-time tattooer out in Long Island. Richie's been around tattooing since he's 16, you know, in the early 70s. And I remember saying to him, I was like, Rich, I don't understand, you know, all these guys with superior art talent, and Richie has superior art talent. I was like, I don't understand why they, you know, never got involved in tattooing. And his main thing to me was, he goes, they felt that it was beneath them. Like, being a formally trained artist from school, it was beneath you to tattoo.
Yeah.
You know, and he's like, two, he goes, the ones that really wanted to do it, he goes, couldn't get the equipment, couldn't set up their equipment, and or couldn't get the color in.
Because to become a tattoo artist years ago, you had to know somebody who was already a tattooer, and also they had to teach you and bring you into the business.
Yeah.
It's not like now where you can buy
that's
it.
what Georgie did for you, though. That's what I was gonna get into, because Mike, I know Mike for what, like 12 years maybe.
More probably, yeah.
So Mike was like fucking painting Gillios.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean,
like,
but listen to me, when he first came up here, and he'll tell you, like, I told him flat out, I was like, look, I can't teach you anything about art. I was like, you could teach me. I was like, there is not a thing I could offer you to make you a better artist. I was like, but I could teach you how to hustle the business. Because at the end of the day, it is a business, and it requires a certain finesse to the business. And, you know, you have to know
there's
how to
artists
handle
out there
people.
that have incredible art talent, but they don't have a basis of how to run their own business and
is that as
manage
far
their
as
clientele.
Yeah, like, is that as far as like managing scheduling and
No,
appointments?
the biggest thing's the God complex. Like, and I'm sure a lot of people watch this, you know, I'm sure a lot of them are tattooed. But you go to some of these artists and they're like, holier than now. Like, dude, you're fucking drawing pictures on people. Like, people are choosing to spend their money with you. Like, how are you going to give them that God complex? Like, come on. You know?
Yeah, a lot of artists out there, they think that they're better than the people that they're tattooing, and they think like it's an honor for you to sit with me. Like, they have that like way about them. But
Yeah, like I got this friend of mine, like, he told me one time, like, he was going to this tattooer, a girl, just because he wanted to try to bang her. Got a whole sleeve from her.
Sex sells.
Yeah,
though.
just sex sells, you know. You just went there to, and you know what? Like, and it was so funny because the work got light and everything. Like, now we tattoo him like he's a really good friend of mine. You know, like, he'll like beg me to get in with Mike and stuff, and I make it happen for him because I'm a good guy like that. But like, he'll never admit that he had subpar work because he was thinking with his dick, you know, not with his
People only
back.
buy sandwiches with me because I got girls working for me.
Yeah,
too.
and the best is he never slept with her.
Oh, he never
Never even got to her. He probably blew thousands, probably tipping her 500 at a clip, and he never even slept with her.
Man, it's a real world out there.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it does happen.
It happens to the best of us. So, you guys have a really funny relationship. Like, every time whether it's, calling you to get a appointment with Mike or just before when we're in the office, you're trying to get Mike to buy you a new fishing rod, right?
Yes, you know what? The blue fins are in, and they're hitting poppers, and I don't have a good jigging setup, and it's like $1,500 for the setup. And all I want to do is put the fresh tuna on his plate.
A little.
That's all I'm looking to do.
Boat warming.
Yeah, a little boat warming gift. When he moved into his apartment, I had to buy him a fucking espresso machine.
The high-end one, too.
I got him a high-end Wega, $6,000. He didn't even want it.
Like...
No, he didn't even want it. So then he picked out one, and it was like middle of the road. So I got him the high-end home version one. And he doesn't even own the apartment he lives in. He rents it off some slumlord guy. you know? I mean, we were there today. The fucking ceiling's leaking, but yet he's got a top-of-the-line espresso
it's
machine.
Not him, is it?
Yeah, there's the slumlord sitting right next to me. He won't even get it on camera.
That's on the face.
He doesn't want to. I go by this guy's house. He's watching Joe Pesci the Super constantly. It's like he emulates to be not even Joe Pesci, his father. Remember the one that said, "Dad, we got to fix the heat," and he's like, "We only got 120 days to do it." And the father replies, "Well, a lot of things can happen in 120 days, like spring." That's this guy that won't get on camera.
That reminds me of my dad, too.
Yeah.
Oh my god. It's an espresso machine that won't fit in my apartment. I won't have a kitchen.
You just have to get rid of the stove.
It's all the counter space, but you know how you're gonna look? You got a girl over, like, hey, you want a cappuccino, and like you're gonna bust that thing out. You're definitely getting laid.
So the machine he got is $6,000, right? It's a
no, the $6,000 one sitting in my garage.
The one you wanted to
give him. The one that I wanted to give him. So I went out, I bought him. I don't know what it was, like a $700 one, but. I did buy him.
You got another apartment for me?
I did buy him like unlimited cake, like the cups and shit. So you got espresso for like 2 years.
That's great because I literally have that 2-pod espresso machine in a store. And I can't imagine having that thing in my house just to grind the beans, just to make an espresso. Like it needs to come with a barista.
Yeah, I'm not gonna use that. I press one button on mine and it's done. You want me to start grinding and...
It's the freshest espresso you could get.
I make a cappuccino. I don't even drink the espresso. I don't like espresso. I don't like the way it tastes.
Waters it down.
I water it down.
I really wish my friend would get in on this, because he's
we're gonna shout him out in a second.
But. Yeah, he just won't.
Well, now that you called him a slumlord.
Well, I mean, you know why? Because I'm sitting here on the podcast, and he's on the group text right now, blowing it up. Like you hear my phone ringing, telling everyone in the group text, "Oh, come down here, come down here." He wants to try to put me on blast.
It's funny because when I was like, I was mentioning it to my friends, I wanted to do a podcast with Mike. And they were like, yo, if you do a podcast with Mike, just make sure you get Georgie, because he's a character. Like, Georgie needs his own podcast.
I'm fucked up. His business so many years made me all fucked up.
But Georgie, like, he...
Fuck Mike. Just let him tattoo you. Let George do the talking.
But, Mike, how many kids this young are, like, making this much noise in the tattoo industry?
I mean, listen
to me. There's a lot of talent.
There's a lot of young talent.
He's probably got one of the best work ethics. See, for me, it's not about your talent; it's about character. Like I never let anybody in. Like you gotta understand. You gotta understand something. Like when Pete and Cubo brought me into this, to me, it was like becoming a made guy in the mob. But it was better because it was a legit business. When you're talking like, there was a time I could look at a tattoo and tell you which one of the 5 guys in New York did it. Like, that's how small the circle was.
Are you talking about 90s or?
90s, yeah. Early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. Before it became legal. I mean, when it became legal, it started blowing up.
Was it illegal all over America or just New York?
Just the counties. Long Island was still legal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Long Island was legal. But, it was like this secret society. I remember, I'll never forget, when they were looking to make it legal, we all got together at this diner on Queens Boulevard. I think Pops, right? It was the diner. And it was
legendary.
Just... Yeah, it was like... It was P. Cubo, Mike Perfetto, Richie Montgomery, Rob Friend. Like, it was all Dave Mars. Like, just all the old school tattoo guys. And this one guy somehow caught wind of it. And he wasn't a tattooer. And he was just like, we were there to discuss it becoming legal, like, what's going on, how we're going to attack it as a group. Yeah, like it was trying to be pushed through. And this one guy showed up, and I'll never forget, Mikey Perfetto looks at him and he goes, Who are you? What are you doing here? Oh, well, I don't tattoo, but I'm interested in getting tattooed. Like Mikey was like, Mikey was like, get the fuck out of here. He's like, you don't fucking belong here.
You want to take advantage of the business opportunity.
But you know what it was? I mean, look, the guy was humble. He just didn't know any better. But it was that thing where it was like a secret society where we didn't want outsiders in it. And then with the internet, of course, like stuff became readily available.
You can get a whole tattoo kit on Amazon now.
Yeah,
Well, you can go on Amazon and buy a whole tattoo machine set for $30. It's gonna be shit.
Oh,
but
shit tattoos.
Yeah, that's how people end up coming in for cover-ups because they got it done in some kid's basement.
Like
at a house
the magic of the business is gone today. Like,
what do you mean by that?
Like, it's just like you felt special. You were a part of something, like almost like a gang, and it was just you guys, no outsiders. Like, you went to other places and, you were welcomed by a few select people. Absolutely. You had to know somebody to get involved in tattooing. And like I said, it was more about character than anything else. Because we've seen, like, people with great art talent come and go through the years, but they're douchebags. So, like, we didn't want them around us. They weren't, like our type of guys. You got to remember something. I understand, like, it's the highly trained artist now, but 20 years ago, this was the fucking Italian guy's hustle. This is what street guys did, Mike Perfetto, Tony Polito, Pete Jaquinto, even Pete Poulis out in Long Island. I mean, Pete had originally met Pete Poulis. They were away doing time in Greenhaven together. And then Pete helped Pete Poulis set up his own shop, which was Peter Tattoos at the time. So at a point, like, it was more or less like you kind of had to fight to get into this business. Like, you had to be good with your hands. You had to be somewhat of a rugged person because of the people you were dealing with at the time.
You gotta be talented, too.
Yeah, I mean, listen to me. Today you're tattooing lawyers, doctors, basketball players, football players, every walk of life. Years ago, you tattooed the street guy,
What about when people go to jail and come out with these tattoos? How does that even happen?
I got news for you. A lot of this stuff that's coming out now is really nice stuff.
A friend of ours came in a year ago after doing time, and he had a leg sleeve, and
it looked good.
It was really light done. I had to redo it, but the work was all clean, like super clean.
A friend of mine came home from the feds. He had something written, like a. Sereno's guy did it, like, East LA, Mexico. This thing was pin perfect. It said family and like that fancy East LA script. It was perfect. I couldn't even do it that nice out in the street with the right stuff. I mean, look, the gods bring it in, it's just how it is. It's not like years ago where it was, the soot from checker ashes mixed with Vaseline and the tape recorder motor. Like, back in the day, we used to tattoo a couple COs, and when they would do Shakedown and Rikers, they would bring us the tattoo machines. Just like, hey, look at this, and it was like pretty wild setup. But, I mean...
you have one of those?
Yeah, I got it somewhere in the back. But, like, today, like, these rotary machines, they're based off that tape recorder motor, just as strong a motor. And they're doing the same thing.
Yeah,
it's crazy how how advanced it got.
Yeah.
Even me, when I got my first tattoo, the machine was like one of those really loud ones. You had like 3 rubber bands on it. You know what I'm talking about?
I still use them.
I use them still. Coil machines. They're still very much used throughout the industry. It's either one or the other. Tattoo artists, a lot more of the black and gray photorealistic guys, they're using stuff like this. This is what I use for every day. But when it comes to traditional and neo-traditional and a lot of those styles, you see most of the people are using coil machines, the loud ones.
You know what? I would say the best thing about tattooing, I mean, for me anyway, and I'm sure it's for Mike, it allowed me to pursue my other hobbies. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. At the end of the day, I pay my...
You have a sign in the office, fish 5 days, work...
Yeah, like that's my thing, But, like, look, at the end of the day, the price I pay for that is... I have no pension, and I pay for my own insurance and shit like that, So that's the cross I bear for having all the free time to pursue my outside interests. My outside interest is I'm a tournament shark fisherman. I got big money in earnings. I got one coming up this year. I take it very seriously. I start in the winter time, early winter.
Where do you go to do that?
Well, I'll tell you what I do. It's a big regimen for me. Like, I start training, around in September. I train at Limitless Fitness on Cross Bay Boulevard.
I was just going to shout them out because If you want any MILF in our beach, you gotta go to the Limitless. You're not finding them.
I'm not there for the mills. I go there for personal strength training. My trainer Joseph Ponte trains me. Because I'm fighting fish 400 or 500 pounds. Last year we worked real hard. We got the strength up good. I mean,
last year you worked real hard for about like a steady week and a half.
Yeah, what was I deadlifting? 500 maybe? I don't know what it was, but either way, I was awarded $10,000 for the heaviest thresher in the Stella Maris Shark Tournament. So the hard work paid off. I'm getting ready this year. I got it in 3 weeks, so I'll be out this weekend. Making the seas safe for everybody.
One shark at a time.
Yeah, my trainer, he slacked off a little bit, but, I kept up with it. He was pursuing outside interests himself. But I'm there. You'll see me I'll be in the newspaper, I'm sure, in the next coming weeks.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the Newsday does a nice section on sport fishing.
Do you travel for that, too?
I used to. I was down in Costa Rica in September. I did some fishing. I really want to get
Costa Rica. I feel.
Yeah, I want to get to Alaska. Like that's my spot. Like that's what I would love to do. I'd love to go to Alaska.
No.
You've never done Alaska before?
No, I can't find the guys.
Well, that's
it's kind of
ice
hard.
fishing, huh?
No, they fish like in the ocean, but they got like big halibut and stuff. Like it's some crazy shit. I want to do it before I die.
Do you fish because you actually like the way the fish taste?
Well, it's funny you talk about Mike fishing because I brought Mike out with me, what was it, 2 years ago?
Yep.
2 years ago,
No,
every
3
years ago, every July 4th, we do the annual Pete and Cubos fishing trip. So I think it was Mike's maybe first offshore trip. This is a big deal.
If you don't go to this, you get fired.
No, this is like special. You got to be a member of the shop to go to it. We do a 4th of July. We brought Mike out, we caught a great white shark. Could you fucking believe that? A great white shark. Wow. Right off Rockaway Beach, in between Rockaway and Jones. Not that far off. I don't want to divulge how far out because, I don't want no one poaching my spots. But let's just say it was very close. Close enough for me, I will not go swimming in Rockaway Beach or Jones Beach. No way.
How big was this?
It was small, but it was probably like 80 pounds. But evidently they've proved that the great whites give birth off our waters. So at some point, the pregnant females are around.
Yeah,
giving birth. At some point. They don't know when. I've seen them 16, 17 feet, about 30 miles offshore, like cruising along. It's pretty wild. But they come in.
That's why I only put my feet in.
Let's just say it wasn't the best day of my life.
Yeah, he didn't really take to it, but he didn't see look, I'm fishing, I'm 45. I'm fishing since I'm 7 years old. That was my first ever great white shark. This lucky fuck comes out his first time and he gets one. And he just couldn't see the joy in it.
The only reason why that great white.
Did you lure it though, or whose hook did it catch onto?
We set up 3 poles when we do it, and it took one of the lines, So yeah, it's like a group thing,
The only reason that shark came up to the boat was because I ate Dunkin' Donuts earlier and I threw up that Dunkin' Donuts into the water, and the shark wanted something new in his ass.
It was a little rough out that day,
A little rough out. The horizon was just from here to here. It was the worst day of my life.
Seasick, Mike?
Yeah, I was throwing up for like 2 hours.
He tasted the shark tasted the rainbow donut.
Yeah, but you got to let those go because they're an
muffin.
endangered species. Big fine for that.
Yeah, you got to let them go.
Oh, really?
Yeah, big fine. You can't. It's like you might as well kill a bald eagle. You kill one of those.
You got your picture though.
Yeah, no, we had it. If you go on the Pete and Cubos Instagram and you look back July 4th a couple of years ago, you'll see it. It's on there.
You got to frame that in here somewhere.
Well, I tell you,
the mug shots.
Last year I put that big thresher up and I was getting abused from people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't have my personal Instagram at the time, so I don't really post much personal stuff on the Pete and Cubos one. I actually never do. But I just, I was quite proud of that winning shark, and I put it up, and, it was a nice picture. I mean, it was fucking dead, but, still a nice looking shot. And, people started abusing me, but from all over different parts of the world. One guy put a curse on me in Venezuela or something, that the world's going to come back and pay me, some karma fucking justice, Which, if you know my life, it's already fucking paying me back, so I don't know what this guy's wishing on me. And it's some girl put, I'm here to see dope tattoos, not dead sharks. And then some other girl was sending me links and shit.
To Peter,
right? A lot of
Yeah.
people that have these tattoos will be the vegans and stuff, man.
Yeah. Well,
I'm from
especially in Williamsburg.
so I know about that.
Look,
shit.
I remember back when tough guys got tattoos, not not the hipsters that don't shower.
Oh, remember the hipster that came up here?
Yeah, he had you tattooed her or Joey tattooed
No
her?
one tattooed her.
No,
didn't
who
like
was
the
the one that
price.
said she didn't shower for 3 weeks?
Oh, I tattooed her. She was like, oh, I'm sorry if I smell. I haven't showered in a while. I'm like, oh, come on.
Could you fucking
She said
imagine
that?
that?
She said that straight to me. Dead
Bro, I
serious
sprayed
face.
on Creed to do this podcast because I don't know who's around smelling me. And this bitch didn't shower for 3 fucking days. Imagine that.
No, but the other one.
That's nasty.
There was one that we gave. It was a small tattoo, and it was the shop minimum, $60. And he was like, that. He was talking about it, and you were like, just go home.
Meanwhile, he's probably some trust fund baby that his father pays his fucking rent in Williamsburg, $3,000 a month.
What's the craziest thing you tattooed, Mike?
I don't know. I don't think I've done many crazy stuff on people. Not that I really remember. All right, how about you, George?
I tattooed "Eat Me" right in this girl's like pubic bone, and I told her, I was like, one day you're gonna have children, right? You're gonna be in a delivery room.
You said that before or after?
Before I said it. I'm not a scumbag like that. Look, for years, people would come in and like want their boyfriend or girlfriend's name, and we wouldn't do it until we started seeing them come back looking for the cover up. So we were like, fuck that. We're missing out. Nobody's listening to us anyway. So we're missing out in the business of doing it. So we might as well just do it. But we were always good like that. Like if something wasn't right, like we'll talk you out of it. Sometimes we would dead out refuse to do it.
There was like a 18-year-old kid in here, where he was 17 and wanted to come in on his 18th birthday, and he wanted me to do something on his face. His like 18th birthday was like 3 weeks, so he was looking to set up an appointment, and he wanted to do like lettering going over his eye. I'm like, you're 18. What?
And a lot of times these parents fucking entertain it.
Which is even worse.
Yeah, like that's got to be the worst part of it. Like, your job as a tattooer is really to kind of save the client from themselves a lot of time. But sometimes they just don't listen. It's like
The face tats is crazy.
I tell people, if you're gonna do it regardless, I'll do it for you. But think about it first.
I
It's a
tattooed a
lifelong
religious
commitment.
cult one time.
Not all money is good money. What religious?
I don't know. They were getting like 3 6s put on them, but they weren't like Satan worshippers or something. I don't know. They felt like God. I don't know, something with 3 6. I don't give a fuck.
3-6 mafia.
Yeah, I mean, I still got to.
Mafia.
I still got to receive communion and confirmation. I'm running a little behind on that. Because my plan is wait till I get a little older, then I'm gonna do it and have a party for myself. Joe, why don't you get in?
Shout outs to Limitless, man.
Limitless Gym on Cross Bay.
They do everything. They got the meals.
I know. I heard they got the meals.
Yeah, no, they got a good setup there. They make the best. I tell you though, they do make the best fucking shakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best part about going to the gym is getting a protein shake.
Well, you know what? Let me tell you the protein shake story really quick. All right. So my friend owns this gym, right? So look, if there was something wrong with my business, I would expect one of my friends to tell me. Especially as a business owner. My friend's very, very smart guy, very intelligent. So I found a leak in his system where I found a way to get free shakes. And it worked flawlessly every time I would go to the gym.
For months.
Months on
end, he got free shakes.
Free shakes. I do it nice. I get the vanilla protein powder. I get the peanut butter powder. I put a shot of espresso in it. I do my shake right. So,
makes you take a nice
I tell my friend this is the data. This is what I've discovered. Figuring he'd be grateful. Maybe say, you know what? Gee, you saved me fucking tens of thousands of dollars. You don't have to pay for a shake ever again. And believe me, I don't go to the fucking gym every day. So it's not like you're losing thousands on me. What does he do? Now I'm starting to go to the gym. 1:30, this motherfucker, the owner of the gym, is coming from doing his owner duties to serve shakes till I leave the gym. How's that?
That's good.
Sure, he's got bigger and more important things to do to make my fucking espresso. But that's why the rich are rich. That's why he's rich.
Every dollar counts.
See, I can't pull that because once he catches on, I'll have like $30 added to my rent every month.
Yo, thank you guys for taking your time out.
Well, we're done already? We're not going to still talk? I got more stories. I mean, if you want more stories.
Give me another one. If you
So
want.
then he's got this apartment for rent, right? So I find him a fucking tenant. I find him a great tenant that I actually vouch for the fucking rent money.
So,
I say
if he gets beat on the rent,
He gets beat. My friend will never get beaten the rent from this kid. I personally guarantee it.
Yo, you hear this, right?
You would think
I'm just gonna stop paying
you would
rent
think
and have George pay my
I'm
rent every
grateful.
month.
Here's $100. You and your girl go grab something to eat. He didn't do that. But his brother, I gotta say, is a class act. Because I'm down by the dock and this guy needs a tow. And I call his brother up and I say, Vin, you want to tow a boat around with your jet ski? He's like, all right. He goes, what should I charge him? I go, charge him $500. Sea-Tow's gonna charge him $1,000. You're doing it for half. His brother tows the boat. Done in 45 minutes. What does his brother do? I see his brother pulling up. I wasn't looking for anything. His brother comes over, shakes my hand, 100 in the hand. George, thanks. I appreciate it. That's a guy who knows how to do business. Absolutely.
Right there.
But
wait till you're done with your bullshit.
But I'm just saying, I got a brother. We're total opposites too. Like, if you ask anybody who knows my older brother, like my older brother's a dick. They can't believe we're brothers. You know, because it's.
I like him.
Of course he likes
I think
him.
he's a great guy.
But you know, there's right ways and there's wrong ways to do business.
You don't want to do it?
But really, if you're in the area, you do have to go check out Limitless Gym. It really is.
And come check out Pete and Cubos. Tell everybody where you are.
Yeah, we're at 8809 101 Avenue, second floor.
Make sure you hit up this guy to get an appointment.
Yeah, that's.
Everybody asks me, how do you get an appointment with Mike? I'm like, not talk to this
No,
guy.
actually,
Mike.
in August,
Mike doesn't wanna deal
he's
with
going to
it.
start taking appointments again. But follow my Instagram, Big Georgie Tattoo. I'll be killing a lot of ocean-bearing creatures within the
Especially
next
if you
month.
love
So
fishing.
yeah, if you like fishing, and this year I'm going to wrestle a shark. I got a tournament. I'm going to get the shark to the boat, and I've been promising everybody I'm going to jump in and kill the shark with my hands. With a knife, but I'm going to kill the shark in the water.
Himself.
Forget about what's his name when Jackie Moon wrestled the bear. Fuck that. Georgie Tattoo's wrestling a shark. It's going to happen sometime within the third week or the fourth week of June. George Contino will be wrestling a shark. Tune in.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you.